As individuals with deep empathy and a keen awareness of emotions, INFJs are susceptible to emotional exhaustion. Their compassionate nature and tendency to absorb the feelings of those around them can leave them feeling drained and overwhelmed. In this note, we explore the unique challenges that INFJs face when it comes to emotional exhaustion and offer practical strategies for nurturing self-care and restoring balance in their lives. 1. The burden of empathy. INFJs possess an extraordinary capacity for empathy, often experiencing the emotions of others as their own. This heightened sensitivity can be both a gift and a burden. While INFJs are adept at understanding and supporting others, the constant emotional absorption can take a toll on their own well-being. INFJs possess a remarkable capacity for empathy, a gift that allows them to deeply understand and connect with the emotions of others. However, this extraordinary ability also comes with its challenges, as INFJs can experience the burden of empathy. In this section, we explore the intricacies of the burden of empathy and how INFJs navigate the emotional landscape with grace and self-care. INFJs have an innate ability to sense and absorb the emotions of those around them. They can pick up on subtle cues and intuitively understand the underlying feelings and needs of others. This empathetic nature enables INFJs to provide profound support and guidance, offering a safe space for others to express their emotions. However, the burden of empathy arises when INFJs find themselves carrying the emotional weight of those they encounter. They may absorb the pain, sadness, or distress of others, sometimes to the point of feeling overwhelmed. This emotional absorption can leave INFJs feeling drained, exhausted, and emotionally depleted. One of the key challenges for INFJs is distinguishing between their own emotions and those they have absorbed from others. INFJs may find themselves internalizing the emotions they have taken on, making it difficult to separate their feelings from those of others. This can create confusion and a sense of emotional heaviness, further intensifying the burden of empathy. To navigate the burden of empathy, INFJs must develop a keen sense of self-awareness. They need to recognize when they are absorbing the emotions of others and consciously work on creating emotional boundaries. This involves learning to differentiate between their own emotions and those they have picked up from others, allowing them to process and release emotions that are not their own. Self-care plays a crucial role in alleviating the burden of empathy for INFJs. They must prioritize activities that recharge and restore their own emotional energy. This might include engaging in creative outlets, spending time in nature, journaling, practicing mindfulness or meditation, or seeking solitude for introspection and self-reflection. By engaging in self-care, INFJs create a protective buffer that guards against emotional exhaustion and helps them maintain their own emotional well-being. Developing healthy coping strategies is also essential for INFJs to manage the burden of empathy effectively. They can learn techniques to ground themselves, such as deep breathing exercises or visualization, to release the emotional energy they have absorbed. Journaling can be a helpful tool for processing emotions and gaining clarity. Seeking professional support, such as therapy or counseling, can provide INFJs with guidance and tools to navigate the complexities of their empathetic nature. It is important for INFJs to remember that while empathy is a gift, it is not their responsibility to carry the emotional burdens of others entirely. They must learn to strike a balance between providing support and maintaining their own emotional well-being. This involves setting boundaries, learning to say no when necessary, and seeking support when they need it. In conclusion, the burden of empathy is a challenge that INFJs navigate with compassion and self-care. By cultivating self-awareness, practicing self-care, and developing healthy coping strategies, INFJs can embrace their empathetic nature while protecting their own emotional well-being. Recognizing their limitations and setting boundaries allows INFJs to continue offering their unique gift of empathy without being overwhelmed by its weight. INFJs may find themselves easily overwhelmed by the emotional needs of those around them, leading to emotional exhaustion. It is essential for INFJs to recognize that they cannot shoulder the burden of everyone's emotions and that taking care of themselves is crucial to maintaining their own emotional equilibrium. 2. Setting boundaries. One of the most effective strategies for combating emotional exhaustion is setting and maintaining boundaries. INFJs must establish limits on the emotional energy they invest in others, ensuring that they have time and space to recharge and replenish their own emotional reserves. For INFJs, setting boundaries is an essential practice to protect their emotional well-being and maintain a healthy balance in their relationships and interactions. As individuals who naturally prioritize the needs of others, INFJs may find it challenging to establish and maintain boundaries. However, recognizing the importance of boundaries and learning to set them is crucial for their overall emotional health. In this section, we explore the significance of setting boundaries for INFJs and offer practical strategies for implementing them effectively. INFJs have a natural inclination to be compassionate, understanding, and accommodating, often putting the needs of others before their own. While this selfless nature is admirable, it can lead to an imbalance where INFJs neglect their own well-being. Setting boundaries allows INFJs to establish a sense of self-respect and self-care, ensuring that their own emotional needs are met. One of the first steps in setting boundaries is self-awareness. INFJs must take the time to understand their own limits, preferences, and emotional capacity. They need to identify their triggers, recognize situations that drain their energy or compromise their well-being, and reflect on their own emotional boundaries. Once INFJs have developed self-awareness, they can begin to communicate their boundaries to others. This involves clearly and assertively expressing their needs, limitations, and expectations. INFJs may need to learn to say no when necessary and assert their boundaries even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Communicating boundaries in a respectful and non-confrontational manner helps establish a foundation of mutual respect and understanding in their relationships. It is important for INFJs to remember that setting boundaries does not mean being selfish or disregarding the needs of others. It is about finding a healthy balance between giving and receiving, ensuring that their own emotional well-being is prioritized alongside the needs of others. By setting boundaries, INFJs create a space where they can show up authentically and fully, without compromising their own emotional health. Setting boundaries may involve learning to say no when necessary, prioritizing self-care activities, and setting aside quiet and reflective time for themselves. INFJs must communicate their boundaries clearly and assertively, allowing themselves the freedom to step back and focus on their own well-being. 3. Practicing self-care. Self-care is essential for INFJs to prevent and alleviate emotional exhaustion. Engaging in activities that nurture their mind, body, and spirit can help restore balance and replenish their energy. INFJs should identify self-care practices that resonate with them personally and make them a priority in their daily lives. Self-care activities may include spending time in nature, engaging in creative pursuits, practicing mindfulness or meditation, pursuing hobbies, seeking support from loved ones, and setting aside regular periods for rest and rejuvenation. Prioritizing self-care allows INFJs to recharge and maintain emotional resilience in the face of demanding situations. 4. Seeking support. INFJs often find solace and renewal through connections with others. It is essential for them to seek support from trusted friends, family members, or even professional therapists or counselors. Having a support network that understands and appreciates their unique needs can provide validation, guidance, and comfort during times of emotional exhaustion. INFJs should not hesitate to reach out for help when needed. Sharing their thoughts and emotions with someone they trust can help alleviate the burden and provide them with fresh perspectives and insights. Emotional exhaustion is a common challenge faced by INFJs due to their empathetic nature and deep emotional sensitivity. However, by implementing strategies such as setting boundaries, practicing self-care, and seeking support, INFJs can nurture their well-being and find balance in their lives. Remember, as an INFJ, it is essential to prioritize your own emotional health and well-being. By taking care of yourself, setting boundaries, and seeking support, you can navigate the challenges of emotional exhaustion while continuing to offer your unique gifts of empathy and compassion to the world.